I was supposed to be.
We
Usual.
are live. And you know what
Hello.
happens? Go ahead,
What?
Sandy. Go ahead, Sandy.
What? No, I said I still haven't done it. Where's our little thing?
Our little thing. Yeah, we're live. But we like to start this way.
Oh, yes. I was like, what is this? What are you talking about?
We just got rickrolled by. So I'm sorry that you guys had to go through that. Where am I? I don't even know how to do that. Mr. Pineapples is having some technical difficulties. Well, actually, he's not. He's trying to help somebody.
Today.
Yeah, he's helping someone with technical difficulties. So that's why you don't see him just yet. Sandy, have you already shared the show?
I did. I'm so proud of myself.
You
I
are
beat you.
fast. That's way fast. Hold on.
So how was your day? Did you get to take naps today?
I was able to take one nap. And then
poor baby. How did you make it through the day?
I know, it was ridiculous. I can't believe. And then I got someone needed some photography done like as fast as possible, so I did that for them at like 6 o'clock. So I had a little photo shoot at 6 o'clock.
Okay, cool.
And so that was fun. Come by and
was it a senior photo shoot?
No, as a lady, she needed something for her company. So
okay, cool.
It's kind of like a headshot type thing.
Oh, I gotcha. Cool.
And come and say hi and ask us doggy questions. No.
Oh, are you? See, I can't do all that. I just share the little thing because I'm not going to do that. Did you like my question that I know you're going to ask?
Your question that no,
yes, I didn't. Because you said I can't wait to ask my doggy question.
Oh,
I was like, I know what you're going to ask.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Did you see that?
I saw that. Yeah. So that was you that responded to my.
Oh, did I? Oh, I responded as the show.
It was the show, yeah. So it threw me off. I was like, I was about to yell at Jamie about that.
No, that was me. That was Jamie.
That what? Yeah. Freaking!
I can't believe him.
That dude. That dude. All right. Before we get started, though, we have a business of the day, and today's business is Hub City Lube. They're a mobile oil change service that comes to you at home or work. Servicing Lubbock and all surrounding towns, we are BBB accredited and 2020 Best of the West. Their motto is, don't waste your time waiting in line. Let me tell you about that. Nothing is too small or too big. We service lawnmowers all the way up to semi-trucks. Personal vehicles, business vehicles, small and big fleets. Established 2015. We'll put their information in the comments. I'm gonna have to look it up because he didn't give me all the information.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, there's no phone number or anything like that. It's just Hub City Lube. So we'll research that and get it posted up.
You know what's so funny? You said lawnmowers, and I was like, it just like really lawnmowers need an oil change. It just never dawned on me.
Right, exactly. Yeah, speaking of, it's been a while since I've changed the oil in my lawnmower that I'm sad to announce, but yeah.
Sad to announce that you have to use it, or
or that I. Just like, hey, it starts. It's good. I'm going.
Right?
Yeah. And then whenever the engine breaks, I'll be like, oh, maybe I should have changed the oil sooner.
Right. What kind of product did I buy? So I tried to help Eric mow the lawn, and I thought, how hard can this be?
Right.
I couldn't even get it to push. I couldn't even push it because the grass was so thick, and I'm like, okay, I give up.
And you're like, no, you're like, sub, I need a sub.
Yeah, this is for the birds.
Right, exactly.
I'm like, no. And then, so Eric's kind of anal about his lawn and stuff. And so we don't even have the boys do it. They burn crop circles.
Oh, right.
So we're like,
oh, yeah.
Just do it yourself.
Right.
Nobody will get mad.
Right, exactly. So this is strange. So for the last year, I've had a lawn guy do my stuff because,
you're busy.
That's during nap time. So,
right.
But he's disappeared off of the face of the earth. He was so good. He's such a great, and it was a good price, and he had front and back. He edged and he bagged, and now he's gone off the face of the earth, and I don't know where he's at.
Don't you hate when that happens? Because I hear that a lot, like from landscaping companies. I'm not going to mention any names, but I do hear that a lot. And we had a really good guy back at our old house, and I just loved him. And I would see, the guy works everywhere. And now he happens to be my insured, and I saw him working in Wolfforth, and I was like, oh, let me just call him up real quick.
Right,
He's
exactly.
the hardest working man, and I just absolutely love him.
Wow.
But yeah, landscapers. And then, I mean, I knew a guy that started up, he was like gung ho, and then he just, like you said, disappeared. And we're like, huh.
Yeah. I'm like, and then so this is even worse, is that I had referenced my mom for him so he could go mow her yard.
Yeah.
Well, since he disappeared, he actually took a payment from my mom before finishing the yard work, which is totally unlike him, because
Yeah.
I've worked with him for over a year and he never did that. But for something happened, so he was doing her yard work and then it started to rain and he broke something, and he went ahead and asked her for payment so he could buy the part to fix it or whatever. And he said that he would leave his weed eater there, so she would have something of his that we had to come back to. My mom still has the weed eater.
Is it a good one? It's probably broken. It's probably what he broke.
Right, exactly. I was just like, I'm sorry. And so I knew that he had a hard life. Sometimes there would be a couple weeks there where he wouldn't show up or whatever, and it didn't bug me. But my mom, she gets kind of bugged by stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Mom, he's got a hard life, okay? I'm just kind of go with the flow.
Mother.
Right, exactly. Just like, I'm not
and take that weed eater and mow your lawn with it.
Right, exactly. She's like, I'm gonna have to call somebody else. And I was like, okay, you more than welcome to do that.
Oh gosh, I hate that. Yeah. It's a hard I think that it's a hard to keep a good landscaper for sure.
Exactly. So how was your day?
My day was good. I went half day to the office today, and so all of, there's 3 of us in our office and all of us were there. And I think I was just like vomiting. I hadn't seen anybody. So I'm just talking poor Nancy and poor Dahlia's ear off. And Nancy was like, man, time goes by faster when you're here with somebody. And I was like, maybe because I haven't shut up this whole time.
Right, exactly.
And I was like, did I tell you this? And how about, did I tell you this story? And
right, yeah.
Story?
Yeah, and you're like trying to keep up with the stories that you've been telling people, and you're like, "Oh, did I tell you this story, or did I show it on Facebook, or yeah?" And I hate that part because I'm like, I'm not sure exactly what I need to do, and so
because I was telling her about some of the show, because we always like try to share like what shows we've been watching, and I was like, wait, did I send that to you on Snapchat? Because I might have. She's like, I think you did.
Oh man, you're like, I don't know what to do.
I don't. And I tell her things and she just looks at me. Luckily, she just is like so gracious and listens to everything I have to say. But she's definitely the introvert in our office. She's real quiet, total opposite of us, of me and Dahlia. Me and Dahlia are all over the place. And she's what anchors us down a little bit.
She's like, okay, look, simmer down now.
And she doesn't say it. She just sits there quietly, just listens, shakes her head, and then she's super great, which is why I think she said, man, it's really slow when I'm here by myself.
Right, exactly.
Like, by the time we looked up, it was already time to clock on out.
Yeah, because y'all are talking, and she's like, oh, I finished all my work and now I have nothing to do.
Just to listen to you, that's all.
So does she watch the show? Have you told her that she needs to watch the show?
Well, okay, so she falls asleep early.
Oh.
But she has seen our show. She'll watch a little bit of it, but yeah. She's the early sleeper. Like she's in bed by 8:30.
Oh wow. She sounds like my daughter. I was like, Kiki, she'll go to sleep like at 10. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
You don't belong here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who are your parents?
I'm like, unbelievable.
Yeah, no, she's raising her grandkids, so she puts them to bed at 8:30. So she puts herself to bed at 8:30.
She's like, I'll go to bed too.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to bed before y'all.
Right, exactly.
But like, no, she's super sweet. But she said she had been seeing our show and stuff. Not like watching it all, but she had seen that we had it.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. So I just got this email. I was very proud of this email. So do you know what Grammarly is?
Is it yes, I've seen it. Is it an app?
Yeah, so it's an app piece of software that runs on your browser. And so it basically is just like a word check and make sure that your writing is good and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's an add-on, or what do they call those? Yeah, add-on that you can add to your browser for either Firefox or Chrome or whatever. Well, it gives you I got an email that says, you've achieved grammar greatness.
Oh, stop it.
See, and people think because of this show that I am not productive, but according to Grammarly, I am. Last week, I was 69% more productive than other Grammarly users.
So do you take a test or what do you do?
No, it's just running whenever you like type up stuff on your like on your social media or on your Facebook or on web pages or emails and stuff like that. Because I have tied it to my emails as well, so it will actually record that information and let you know. And then I was 94% more accurate than I was more accurate than 94% of Grammarly users. So
really,
my typing skills, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Mine would be like you're remedial in life, child. You are below average and don't
below average.
Well, because I think I can type really fast, but then I'm also like delete because I get jumbled.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me tell you about typing fast. So I think I typed pretty fast. I was pretty good. So Jet was showing me. Yeah, he was showing me this web page that says it'll test your words per minute and stuff like that. And because he did it first, and then he got I don't know, he got like 35 words per minute or whatever. And then I was like, watch this. And I popped out like 55, 60 words per minute or whatever. And I was like, let's go find your sister. So we went and found Kiki. And I was like, Kiki, go to this website. And she's like, what? Why? Because, she doesn't like doing anything I tell her to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, we want to test you and see how fast you could type. And so she's like, all right. And then so she pulls up the website and I was like, all right, ready and go. And then, this freaking kid was hitting 90 words per minute.
No way. Yeah. Okay, did she take typing in school?
Yes, I took typing in school.
But did she take it?
Oh yeah, she took it too. But she's always on there, and you should see her flow. Like my fingers.
Really?
Man, she definitely flows on that typing stuff.
So listen to this. I was doing Child Watch, and just a real brief aside for y'all that don't know what Child Watch is when CPS has kiddos in custody and they're at the hospital and need volunteers to go help. So anyway, the lady that I was relieving, she was a dispatcher for 911. Oh, and wow. So she was telling me what a desperate need that they have for dispatchers. And she's saying like they'll apply and they interview good, their background checks out, but nobody can type. She said everybody's used to doing this. And when it comes to keying, because you have to have a minimum typing thing. And she said, and that's where everybody fails, that they can't and they can't get hired. So there's a shortage.
That is amazing to know.
Yeah. And she was telling me, she said that, that she was trying to reach out to the school districts and let them know, hey, y'all need to bring typing back. Because I guess maybe the Lubbock schools, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some schools that aren't teaching typing.
Right. Well, yeah, they don't even teach cursive anymore. So
yeah, it's crazy. What we grew up with, and I was telling Kate that we had typing, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I mean, we had it, and I remember they had those little covers over the keyboards, where you couldn't see what you were doing. Did y'all have those?
Yeah, it was called keyboarding back in the day, is what they called it. Keyboarding 1 and 2.
Oh, and really?
We actually had to use the typewriters. We had typewriters.
What in the Moses history was that?
Freaking typewriters. Oh, there he is. Mr. Pineapples is in the house.
Pineapples. Guys, how are y'all doing? Thanks for being so patient.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what else we could be, but sure.
Yeah. So I think I missed all of what y'all did today or whatever, right?
Right.
You did. We were random and we were talking about typing, and then Moses just brought up that he typed on a typewriter.
Like Moses from Jesus' buddy?
Yeah.
Buddy?
I don't know.
God's best friend?
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So I had a pretty busy day because it was just hectic at work today. And then I got some news. I was like, man, are you kidding me? They're about to bring back a whole, like 30 people back on site next week. And I'm like, what?
You're like, I'm not.
I did. Yeah. I was like, is FMLA still available for me? Can I fill that in?
Right.
I'm a little, I'm a little antsy or something. I don't know how you want to call it. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, so I was busy at work today and came home. Just did some dinner stuff with the family. I was working on some of the show for tonight. We did some sound check and we've been having some challenges. And I actually got us working with our guest tonight.
Yay.
Although I will say I was expecting her to be here. So I'm not going to lie about that part. And it's very possible that there may have been the miscommunication. So we're going to see if she joins us soon. But in the meantime, guys, please stick around. She's going to be here. We got some questions ready for you guys that some of you asked that we're going to ask her. I got some pictures that we're going to show some of you guys' dogs that y'all sent, your puppers and everything. And they are pretty adorable. And I wanted to make sure to be able to go through and share that with everyone so everyone saw it. I was trying to put names on it, but I couldn't because not everyone had names, only a few people. And it was one of those where I felt like, oh, do I put No, I don't want.
You should have just put like Max on all of them. You would have probably got one right.
I should have put the what do you call it? The what was that?
Clifford, the big red dog.
There you go. I was thinking of something more aligned with that. So
Sandy the dog, is that what you were thinking?
No, I would never say that.
Off of Annie, the musical.
Oh, the dog's name was Sandy.
Do you not remember? I had a traumatizing
childhood thing about this.
Yes.
No, he doesn't remember. He does not. That wasn't even good acting, Jamie.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
Hey guys, I got this weird voicemail from Farrah.
Farrah?
Farrah Fansington?
Yeah, and I still haven't called her back, but
okay.
But I don't know how she got my number either. But
hey, I can give you one guess. Where am I pointing at? Is it
no. Oh wait, I'll tell you. I'm trying to leave a message. 1 second, okay?
Oh.
Like, just hang on. Yes. Hello, Joe. This is like Farrah. And I just had like a question for like the dog whisperer or like whatever. Because I was just in the park the other day and like there was these dogs, okay? And like, you know, I don't really have a dog because like, you know, I just don't know if I can like take care of them. But I was kind of thinking about it, and like I just wanted to ask this dog whisperer a question, because if I was going to get a dog, I would definitely want one who was right-footed. So like, can you tell if like your dog is left-footed or like right-footed? Because yeah, like I'm just curious about that, and like how do you ask them? Like how do you word those questions so that they like can like understand you? Because like I know some dogs, they can like shake hands or whatever, and so like which one do you shake? Is that how you tell like if they're right-footed or left-footed? I'm just like genuinely very curious. So like if you could answer that question for me, that would be great. But like my hair and makeup artist is like actually calling me right now, so I have to go. She's got to get me ready for this like really cool photo shoot that I'm doing of myself. So yeah, I'll talk to you later, and I can't wait to hear your answer. Thank you. Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay, so that's a lot. Can we summarize that for our dog whisperer?
I think so, but let's go ahead and let Mr. Pineapples introduce her.
Yes. So everyone, thank you for being patient with us. Thank you for joining us tonight too. We have someone here spectacularly who was invited by Sandy. I think it was Sandy and Joe. Both of y'all. You have used her services in the past for your dog. So this comes as a personal recommendation. But remember, we had a guest previously who said that she wanted dogs, and I think it was Kim Kaufman from last week's episode. And I thought that was a fantastic idea. So anyway, we found someone. We brought her on. Her name is Rachel, and I'm always bad with the last name too.
Schubert.
Thank you guys. Rachel Schubert, and she is our dog whisperer. So please welcome her. Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey.
Welcome to the show. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Fantastic.
You're great and excited.
Very excited. Got lots of dog questions.
It's dogs. Why would you not be excited?
Right.
True.
I agree with you. So thank you, Rachel, for being such a sport, because everyone, we had some technical difficulties before the show started, and she and I was like, we're going to go out to the side and see if we can fix these. And she was being a super trooper for it. And you guys are being troopers for hanging out with us too. I really appreciate all of y'all. But so Rachel, just so we can kind of get started, I want to let you know, I told Rachel at the beginning, I have a bunch of pictures of you guys' dogs that y'all sent us. And I'm about to ask Rachel to kind of help us understand who she is. Because for me, like, I'm not in Texas and I haven't used her service. So for me and others like us who don't know who she is, we'd like to hear more about you, Rachel. But while we're doing that, I'm going to be playing a slideshow that I made for everyone's dogs that they sent us in. Is that okay?
That is wonderful. I always love to see them.
Okay, awesome. Well, then go ahead and get, so tell us about yourself.
Yes.
So, I have been training dogs and competing actively in dog sports since I was about 13 years old. I currently compete in the sport of agility. I don't know if any of you guys know what that is. It's where the dogs do the obstacle courses. Yes, they weave through the poles and go through the tunnels. And I've got a couple border collies that do that. I am also a vet tech. I have vet teched on and off for several years. I would probably say about 6 years total. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. And that poodle in the mud, heck yes. I own Canine Oasis here in town. Because of everything going on, I am not training currently as much and working more full time. I am currently offering online classes for people who are social distancing and may also be out of town. I'm getting ready to do some in-person classes. I am a positive reinforcement trainer, meaning I like to use reward-based training. I am also certified in canine fitness. I am the only one in Lubbock and the third one in the state of Texas to be certified through the University of Tennessee. And I'm also the only canine massage therapist that specializes in trigger point here in Lubbock.
Hush your mouth.
So yes, those doggies can get massaged the
therapist.
Yes, and working on canine nutrition as well. So,
wow,
those are some.
And
so you're legit. So you like are the real deal. Like you're the total package. You're not just like the person that someone would go drop off their dog, or someone who would come check on their dog every couple hours or something like that. You are like
if you are gonna know a dog, you better know all about the dog.
Oh wow.
And I've seen some of Rachel, how she feeds her dogs, and I'm like, oh, they almost make me salivate because she feeds those dogs good.
Yeah. So what's amazing, I met Rachel because she wanted me to photograph 6 of her dogs, right? Is that right, Rachel? 6? Is that what...
No, oh gosh, no. Woo, I wish. My goal, let's get real, is to be Anita from 101 Dalmatians. When they had 15 puppies, her goal was, we're just gonna make it work and we're gonna keep all of them. Okay, that is my goal. But yes, I had 4 currently at the time. And one was being a little crazy.
Right. Yes, that's right.
The other one was like, oh God, get me out of here. And a couple of those kiddos are no longer with me anymore.
Oh.
So yeah. The just for, had to say goodbye. Oh, I know that cute puppy. So, but yeah, and then I met you to do another fun thing.
Oh, that would have so awesome. It was the Corella DeVille with her
Cruella, right?
Cruella DeVille, yes, with her Dalmatian puppy. Oh, I need to send you that one, Jamie, so you can put it on there.
Oh,
that one was awesome.
I think I have it, but I can't do it because
earlier, but it's okay. Yeah, that was such a fun shoot, man. And look at those.
Oh my gosh. Adorable. Okay, can I hold on real quick? Let me tell you about that one real quick. Rachel, I told you I had a story, right?
You did.
Okay, so you see that dog right there is the dog that's behind me right here. This is Charlie.
Oh, hi, Charlie.
Okay? And Charlie is stinking adorable. She is the most. Anyway, let me tell you this, guys, and everyone, please don't hate me much, but I used to hear stories about when dogs were lost, like gone from this world, and I used to think, oh, that's kind of sad. And then people would be sad about it, and then they'd go get another dog like a week or 2 later. And then after I saw that enough times, I thought, that is really sad. That is really sad. Are you kidding me? And then people would be like, oh, but I lost this dog, and it felt like I've never had children, but I felt like I just lost my own child. And I'd be like, that doesn't feel anything like that. What are you talking about? And so I looked down on people that would lose their dogs and say like it was all this feeling thing. I'd be like, they don't know what they're talking about. Charlie, I thought was gonna one day. She belongs to the Oaks who live there in Lubbock. They lead a church called the Lubbock Mission Church.
Oh yeah.
And Charlie was their dog. And my wife and we thought one day that the Oaks were going to go back to Guam, where they're from, and they were going to leave Charlie to us. And so my wife and I would visit Charlie often when we lived in Lubbock, and we'd play with her and hang out with her, and we'd spend copious amounts of time just with her when they were gone. And we'd be like, "Where were you at?" And like, "Was hanging out with Charlie." I'm like, "What? Yeah, I wanted to go." Anyway, while I was living up here, Roddy had reached out to me, and he told me Charlie had passed away.
Oh.
And I hate to go all sappy and sad,
like,
guys.
Why are you?
I just have to let you know though. So he told me that though, and I remember thinking, I'm like, "Oh, that's really sad. I'm sorry, man. That really sucks." And I remember kind of just walking along in the kitchen and stuff, and I was like, "That really sucks." I was like, "Charlie, wait a minute, what?" And I was like, not Charlie, not Charlie. And so I was crying over Charlie, and I was like in tears, and I couldn't function right. And I was just like, and this is after I had both my kids, so I was like, "Not Charlie, what are you?" And I remember texting him back, and I lost it, Rachel. I lost it, and I couldn't handle it. And I was thinking, "Oh my gosh, that hurts so much."
Dude, I'm telling you. Oh, it just breaks your heart. And I think any one of us who have lost that one, I mean, I say that one dog, and that is not to take away from all of the dogs that we end up loving in our lives. But when we lose that one dog, mine was my sweet man, one of the ones that's not with me anymore, was my heart dog. When I lost him a year ago, it still hits me very, very hard. And I will have days I just walk through the house and just randomly I'm like bawling, and my husband's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Ace." And he's like, "I'll give you a minute." And I'm like,
I mean, it's really amazing. I mean, just the impact, Jamie, like you said, you don't really know the impact that they make on your life, but I mean, we lost we had a German Shepherd. We had him for 9 years, and we just lost him in December. And I was, when we were prepping for the show last week, I had told Jamie, I said, he was telling us, he had told me about Charlie, and I had told him, I said, our house felt so empty because Red was always there, and then he's not. And I remember coming in through the garage one day, and I stepped over Red, like he would come greet us at the door. And I'm like, "Why am I stepping over? He's not even here." And we started looking, and you just scrolled through there, and we got Piper, and Piper was she was a breeder dog. She wasn't ever anybody's indoor pet. And so Rachel, we took her to Rachel's obedience class. And so she has thrived. She's done really good.
She's a rock star.
Yeah. And when we very first started, when we got her, she was very skittish, and she still kind of is real, she questions people, but so she's completed Rachel's class, and she can sit on command now, which she was not doing at all in class whatsoever. I was like, "Oh gosh," but now she's doing super. And there's Ricky.
This is my dog. Ricky
Hi,
Ricardo.
cutie. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Now you need a Lucille.
He's a having.
Oh darn! Another excuse for a dog.
No, we're done.
Just what he needs. So, and I know we like to stay to more positive and upbeat, but it's kind of like piggybacking on what you said, Sandy, and just the enthusiasm you're sharing, Rachel. It's like you really don't understand and this Charlie wasn't even mine. So, but I love that dog like crazy, and I think it's more of the feel good feelings that we're sharing, that we think about them, the impact that they did leave on us, and those feel good things, and they're legit, they're real.
I think that I will tell you, I'm a Jesus girl, and I love Jesus in all I do, and I truly think that dogs are what Jesus intended us to be. Do you see how quickly they forgive, and how you can be mad and yell at them for something, and 2 seconds later they're like, "Okay." And I think that's how we're supposed to be. They are so perfect.
Yes, I agree. If you look down in the corner, I'm not sure what corner, but Piper's in here tonight. Can y'all hear
I
her?
see her little hiney.
Yeah, that's her. That's her little tushy right there.
So I got the pictures, Joe. So I will share everyone the pictures that y'all were talking about a second ago.
Yes.
And
Do we have some questions?
I had so much fun with this. I had so much fun with this.
This is so awesome. I love it so much.
That really is me. Everybody's like, "Are you sure that's you under there?" I'm like, "Yes."
Wow.
That was a lot. And the way that the dog would just like look is the dog usually. So I deal with a lot of people and they have crappy expressions. The dogs have perfect expressions.
Oh, was that one of like your friend's dogs, Rachel?
That is my baby. That is my baby. That is my Yoshi.
Oh.
And yes, my husband named him after the little green thing on Mario Brothers.
Get out of here! The dinosaur. That's awesome. I love that.
See, like, look at that expression, and then show the next one, Jamie.
All right,
look at this expression. Look at that.
Oh, that's so awesome. How do you do it, Rachel?
Well, the sit and stay was me, but that was all him.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah.
That is such a good photo, guys. Wow.
Yep. That's
Joe's
like
shameless
the next
plug.
cover of Vogue. Like, that's the next cover of Vogue. I'm just saying.
That totally could work it. That could totally work it. Look at that.
Submit that, Joe. We're going to get famous one day, okay? Like, we're going to get famous.
I'll make you famous.
Yes.
All right. So, Sandy. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it was such a fun shoot. And I love when people bring me ideas like that. Because, I shoot normal portraits, but when somebody's like, hey, I want to try something, I'm like, my eyes light up. I'm like, oh, okay, let's do it.
I had to wipe the excess tears that are trying to come out. I'm like, no, get out of here. Get out of here. You ain't got a place on this. Yeah. Breathe in. And on that, so Sandy, don't you have a few questions for Rachel from some of our viewers?
Oh, do I?
Or no?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. Here we go. I think this is it. Right. So Raquel said that this was from earlier. One of the first picture that we showed was her dog, actually. So Pete, why is he so scared of the vacuum cleaner? I swear we've never beat him with it or tormented him with it. He gets so nervous and anxious and will run away if the vacuum cleaner is on and there is an easy way out.
Okay, so vacuum phobias and phobias of movement are a real thing. And I saw from the picture, I tried to get on Facebook before we logged in and saw that he's an Australian Shepherd. So any of your herding breed dogs, Border Collies, Australian Shepherds, Corgis, if it's in the herding breed group, think of what they were originally bred to do. They were originally bred to watch movement. And if they're herding a flock of sheep, if they're herding a flock of cows, a herd of cows, whatever it may be, if that one animal pokes their head out, they are like bred to be able to see those tiny micro movement things. So you end up with a lot of these herding breed type dogs who are scared of vacuums, who are scared of sudden movements, and sometimes will even bite at sudden movements. I know a lot of dogs that will bite at vacuums, a lot of dogs that want to chase cars as they go by. And I really would not be too concerned about the vacuum in particular, unless it is turning into one of those things where we are like biting and aggressively attacking this vacuum. I would tell you that when it's time to vacuum, the simple solution, okay, I tell people, be smarter, don't work harder, okay? The simple solution is go put him in another room. Like, go put him in another room. It is not worth the stress and the anxiety that comes with him saying, I am so freaked out by the vacuum, I can't handle it, because he's a herding breed dog and movement phobia is a real thing for them. I can tell you, I have a dog that is not okay with the vacuum. And in that instance, now if we were chasing cars, I would be like, okay, we need to fix this. But with the vacuum, it's one of those things, don't overwork yourself. and don't overstress the dog by trying to train something that could turn into an extravagant process when we can just go put him in another room with something fun to chew on and him go, okay, I don't have to deal with the vacuum. Easy peasy. So that's what I would do. Herding breed dogs, movement phobia, they go together.
So it's not really, you're not really trying to fix it. It's not something that should be fixed. It's just kind of the nature of the beast.
Redirecting.
There you go.
Yeah. Redirecting. And I would simply say you can do some training, like when the vacuum's off. You can do like if you approach it, I say yes and cookie, but when you get the treat, we're moving away from the vacuum. This is while it's off. You can teach the dog that if you will approach, we will move away. So we're rewarding two ways. We're rewarding with a cookie and we're rewarding with space by saying, if you approach, I'll move you away from that and give you a space from that object. And so those are things that you can be doing on the side. And then eventually the vacuum's off, but now it's moving. We do the same thing. And then eventually it's on and it's still. We do the same thing. And then it's on and it's moving and we do the same thing. And those are some things you can be doing on the side. But I would really stress to you, if it is not to that point where he is like, you can train it, but also just give him his space. Give him his space. I just think he's telling you, it's too much. Just put him in another room. We put ours in another room while we're vacuuming. Not a big deal.
Okay.
Awesome.
Here's another question I have from one of our this was on my personal Facebook page, and it was the one with the black and white dog next to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to pull it up in a minute, but I'm trying to pull the question up and the picture and stay as organized as I can right now. So here's the question, and I'll put the picture up in a minute. Charlie is on the left. He's a toy poodle. He turned 17 on Sunday. He just lost the rest of his teeth. Sad face. Chloe's on the right is an apricot miniature poodle, and she's 11. My question for Rachel is, what can we do to help Charlie, the one who just lost his teeth, get used to having no teeth? He's on antibiotics, and we feed him soft food, eggs, rice, etc. He has been pacing around and pawing at his jaw, so I know it bugs him. And this is for my buddy here in Illinois, Dan Martis.
Okay.
So.
This might also just to be this might be a veterinary question as well, something that he probably needs to consult with his veterinarian about. It is going to be a huge change. I mean, if any of us ever lost our teeth, I mean, even as a little kid, you lose a baby tooth and you're like, all you can do is play with the hole where the tooth was.
Yeah.
I would simply tell you that this is going to be something that's going to take time. There is not something that I would tell you to just work at and work at and work at. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. That little face.
Yeah.
So I would simply tell you, this is not something that we really need to stress about too much. It's a big change. And there's nothing we can do. You're feeding soft food already. We're on an antibiotic. We're doing these things, and those are all things that my veterinarians that I work for would tell you. And I think this is simply just something that's going to take time, because if you think about it, those teeth hold our tongue in place, hold everything in our mouth in place. And when those teeth aren't there anymore, and I'm not picking, I see a lot of it on a day-to-day basis working as a vet tech, that there's nothing for that tongue to be held in by. And so it's very awkward for that tongue to not be in its proper place, if you will. And so I think it's just him mentally in the brain having to go, okay, this is not normal. And once the brain figures out, oh, hey, this is how it's going to be, I think you'll see in a give him time. Okay, again, give him time in an adjustment period. The brain will just go, you know what, this is now normal. The brain just right now says, this is not normal. I don't know what to do. And it will over time. And he's 17. Good props to you. I am so proud of a 17-year-old dog. Good job.
Right.
That dog, and he has a story with that dog. That dog was away from him for quite a while, and then through persistence and just lots of good vibes, the dog finally came back to him. And
Really?
I mean, it was, yeah. And he was, yeah. So now that he's got her back, yeah. It's been some years since he got her back, but yeah, that's a big story. So
yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So I have a question that came through. One is, how old can my puppy be before I start obedience classes? Or what's the typical start age?
Oh my goodness, the younger the better. I think I will tell you this as a trainer, since it's a great opportunity to bring this up. I see a lot of the time that I get called in for private training with issues with dogs is when we have waited too long and until there is a problem. When we can be proactive and start that puppy as soon as we get them home. I tell people most puppies come home between 6 and 10 weeks, depends on where you get them from. But I will tell you, give them 2 to 3 weeks to adjust, do some relationship building, let them figure out where they are. It can take longer than that, but that's a whole nother path that we're not going to go down right now. But I will tell you, the sooner you can start, the better, because what we want to do when we bring that new puppy into our home is we want to set them up for success. We want them to learn from the beginning, this is the right way to do things, instead of waiting until, okay, now my puppy is chewing up the couch and he's ripping up things and he's doing things that he shouldn't. Now we have time factored into that, where we go, okay, my dog's a year old and he's been having all these issues. Well, now we have a year of teaching him, this is now what I would like you to do instead, versus we can be teaching this right from the beginning. I want my puppy knowing we sit when we go out the door. We learn to lay we learn to lay on a mat. We learn to have basic obedience and things to do when we come home. So I'm not having to undo bad habits. So start as soon as you get that puppy, let's start doing stuff.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Here's another question that we got in the comments, and it's from Priscilla. Hi, Priscilla. She says, how do I get my dog to not jump on me?
Oh, Priscilla. This is a question that can fork like this, okay? And have like 30 kajillion different Pocahontas paths that we could go down. So I will try to answer this the best way as possible. If we are jumping for excitement when we get home, which is most of the time when we have dogs jumping, as we get through the door, we come home from work and dog is like, yay, you're home. I would tell you, use a couple things to your advantage. One, let's put barriers up in our home. I don't know if you can, wrong direction.
We do it all the time.
We do it too, yeah.
This little gate you can see right here, I use barriers in my home for other reasons, but having a barrier, so most people come through the garage, maybe having a baby gate up, something where the dog can't have access to jump on you. The other one that I do is I like to condition my dogs to think downward thoughts when me or someone else comes through the door. So what I like to do is if I'm in my garage, I will take a handful of cookies. And before I even walk through the door, what I will do is the second I walk through the doors, I will take those cookies and I will scatter them on the floor and completely walk by my dog and ignore them. And I know that sounds mean, okay? But we want to start teaching the dog that when a person walks through the door, instead of going, oh my gosh, hi, and jumping, no, think calm downward thoughts. And so after I scatter those cookies on the ground, and this is every single time I walk through the door, the secret to dog training is consistency. Don't do it once and expect it to work from now on. Okay.
Right.
So after I've done that, I will ignore the dog. I know, poor little Ricky Ricardo over there. That's why it's not working.
So gets mad easily with him.
Yeah.
So what I would tell you then is to also, you ignore the dog until our energy's gone down. You know, if you have to keep scattering, even as you've got home, you're now undressed, you're in your comfy clothes, keep scattering those cookies. And when the dog finally calms down and that energy goes away, then we pay that attention. Then we pay that calmness. And the dog goes, you know, if I just get calm, that's when I get attention. And so and it's not going to happen overnight, Priscilla, depending on how old your dog is. If we've got a puppy, if we've got a 7-year-old dog, those are things that I don't know. But general rule of thumb is ignore the dog until we're calm and then pay that calm energy with your attention.
Okay.
So this, I could fork it in several ways.
Yeah,
but
you
we
could.
can go on like a 5-hour
go.
podcast.
So, okay. Here we have, first off, Jackie wants to say hi, Rachel.
Hi,
Zena says hi.
Give her sugars.
She says, you are the best. Zena has learned so much.
I'm going to stop and pause since Jackie is watching. I am going to brag on her publicly because she is one of the most dedicated trainers, like owners I have ever met. I mean, I get videos from her all the time. Xena's been out of class for a few months now, with everything that's going on, and there is not a lack of like, oh, I'm just not going to do it. Jackie is a go-getter, and I can tell you it shows in Xena. So Jackie, I just want to tell you, you do an outstanding job, and it shows with how well Xena does stuff for you. I'm very proud of you too. She's come a long way, and she has overcome some things that we have worked hard through that have been blood, sweat, and tears. And Jackie has done a fantastic job. I'm very proud of her.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's great.
So this next question is one for me too. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one is
no.
Oh,
the Jackie,
the one below. Okay.
right under Jackie.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
There it is.
How do you stop them barking at the doorbell?
Every single
Don't let
time.
anybody ring it. I can
Every single time.
I like Sandy's.
Don't let anybody ring your doorbell.
I'm just like, really?
It's like when
Or
you first had Balana.
Or the
like
garage door opens as soon as like someone comes into the garage.
Yes!
He's like full on attack mode. I'm like, shut up! You know that I just went outside.
Man, if I was living there, I'd just go by Joe's
my
house all the
goodness.
time and just be like, ding, ding, and then drive away and just go.
Yeah.
We're all coming by Joe's. Everybody on Halloween ring Joe's doorbell.
Oh, yes.
Halloween is the worst.
Triggers.
I keep him in his kennel during that time.
Oh, do you really? Poor kid.
Yeah. And here's the bad thing, though. He's trained my other dog who didn't bark at the doorbell to bark at the doorbell.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
That's terrible, dude.
Yep. So that is called social learning. Okay. That is called social learning. Actually, Sandy, we talked about this with Piper and Johnny Cash, how there were things that Piper didn't want to do at first that Johnny Cash was eager to do. And then all of a sudden Piper's like, hey, I want into this.
She's like, hey, teach me how to dig. And now Piper digs.
Which digging is great. We can go down that rabbit hole slightly in just a second.
But she didn't know how to. She'd never done it before until Johnny Cash has opened up this bright, big old world for her. And she's like, yes.
She's like, this is awesome. Yeah. So stopping barking at the doorbell. Okay. So the garage door, the doorbell, they are triggers. So depending on where the dog is coming from, I want you guys to think all behaviors, whether we as humans deem them good or bad or not. They are either getting rewarded, and it doesn't have to be with a cookie, okay? They're either getting rewarded or they're not getting rewarded. So I have a lot of clients with dogs who person walks by their window and the dog is like, burr, 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 and then the person leaves, right? Okay, we talked about this first week in class. I don't know if you remember this.
I know it.
And so then what happens is in the dog's brain, they're going, oh my gosh, when I bark, they leave. And so the person leaving the window reinforces the barking. Okay. So those are triggers. The doorbell's a trigger to go, oh my gosh, someone's here. The garage door, oh my gosh, someone's here. So they know what it means. If you are there, okay, it's really hard because if you're not there and all these extra things. But if you are there, what I like to teach a lot of my clients is a word when the doorbell is not going. That means this abundance of magical cookies is about to happen. Okay. I have my clients say party time so that it's something fun. And so what I do is I will teach this when the doorbell's not ringing. Okay. Don't do this one to start. Okay. Or you'll never get anywhere. But what I want you to do is say party time, run to the counter, grab some cookies, scatter them on the floor. Do that several times. So the dogs know, oh my gosh, party time is party time. Cookies are about to be all over the floor. Then you start to do it with the doorbell. The doorbell rings, party time. We run to the counter, grab some cookies. The dogs all of a sudden start to go, holy crap, the doorbell rings means I'm about to eat cookies all over the floor. And they will start running to wherever your cookie jar is to go, feed me, cookies. This is what the doorbell means. So we can change that doorbell. And again, please don't happen. I don't have a Harry Potter wand, okay? This is not going to happen overnight, okay? But over time, and I mean months, okay? I see a lot of people that want a quick fix. Animals are not quick fixes, guys. We got to work for lots of months, okay? Lots of months. Darn it. Okay. But over time we can have a dog that goes, oh my gosh, the doorbell equals cookies about to fly everywhere. And so a lot of times with my barkers, that's what I do. But just know it can take several months, especially if they have had a history of barking. And again, time, their age being a factor in all of that. But teach that party time. My dog, it's called scatter at my house, but my dogs hear me say scatter and they're like, bring it on, lady. Bring it on.
I see that working for Sandy, okay? But for Joe, I feel like the dog's just going to be like barking at the doorbell and scatter time are two different things to me.
Yeah. It very well could go either way. So one thing as a dog trainer, I will never do is I will never make you a promise. Okay. I will never make you a promise.
Dang
yes.
it.
I think
I think
so many people, right. God, I don't even have a pen. Oh darn. But I think a lot of people really expect, hi, Big Jake, there's my little baby. I love my Jake. Dude, Jake is the coolest Yorkie that has ever walked the face of this earth.
Oh, and he's called Big Jake.
Really is.
That's funny.
He is. Any of these dogs that think they're big, when Big Jake walks through the door, and he is a confident little man, he is not scared of anything. He's the coolest little dog. But I think people really expect a quick fix, and they're not robots, and they need time to develop, just like we and even kids do. So I tell people a lot of the times, we don't tell our kids yes ma'am and no ma'am once and then expect that they know it for the rest of their lives. It is a constant reminder of I do.
My wife reminds me that that's not realistic, and I'm like, I didn't say it needed to be, sweetie. I didn't say it needed to be. I just said I expect it.
Right. So we just need to make sure that we are knowing that they're going to constantly need those reminders of, oh, this is what I expect from you in this situation. So give them time.
So what's your favorite snacks then?
What's my favorite? What?
Your favorite snack for party snacks.
Time? She's like, I like Chex Mix. What do you like?
Are Reese's. Okay.
Oh, I meant
Reese's are my favorite. Okay. So I like to use something there. You can just use their dog food. If it's something that you need easily accessible to keep on the counter, just keep a little bowl of their dog food sitting on the counter. That is really easy to reach. So you're not having to grab in the fridge, grab something refrigerated, or open a dog treat bag. It's something that you can quick, easy, and accessible. My favorite dog treats to train with are Fresh Pet. You can get them at United, Walmart, in the refrigerated section. It's a big it looks like dog food. And so that's my favorite because it usually is pretty smelly. So the dogs are attracted to it because dogs are olfactory, primarily olfactory. Goodness gracious. And so something a little smelly. They're soft, quick. I don't like a lot of crunchy things to train with in general, because when I'm trying to teach the dog trying to get a lot of repetition in a short period of time, I want something small, chewy, and quick. But for scatters, especially if we're trying to calm that behavior down at the door, something crunchy like their dog food would be totally great, because then they're going to have to eat crunch, 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 eat crunch, crunch, crunch. So for scatters and party times, I would definitely recommend just a bowl of their dog food on the counter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Here's another question. It's probably going to be the last question from the comments section for you, Rachel.
Cool.
It says, why does my dog constantly lick his paws?
Okay.
Yeah, that's Ricky.
I hear the size. It's about to get heavy on you, Joe. That price tag's about to go up.
Well, I have to tell you, most of the time, this is a vet question. Most of the time, it can differ in several different ways, but the short answer is we've probably got some allergies going on. We've got something, maybe food, seasonal, something. We've got some type of allergy going on. If you see a lot of our, like if you have a white dog, it's more noticeable. But if we've got that kind of brown staining, and even on that brown staining, you notice that almost yeasty smell, we might have an underlying yeast problem. And again, I am not a veterinarian. I am simply just telling you things that it could be. I am not diagnosing anything. Let that be known. But it's probably simply an allergy thing. If we are licking more one paw than the other, that could mean tight muscles. I have a lot of dogs that will bite at their side, or sometimes want to chew at one leg, and that could definitely mean that we have some tight muscles on the opposite side of the body, or on that side. Dogs are so resilient, and you will not ever see them complain for the most part, unless it's a very serious thing. But it could mean that. But most of the time when dogs are licking paws, we've got an allergy, and it's something we need to go see the vet for.
Lovely.
Yep.
Joe's like, why'd you ask?
Come see me.
She's like, that's not our dog. That's not me. She's asking for her friend.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Nope, that's Ricky. That is awesome. We wanted to get to the big one that she what is socialization actually? Since we're running late in the show.
Okay, so I will give the short answer to this. A lot of people think that socialization is interaction with. So when you bring home a new puppy, a lot of people think, let's let them meet all the dogs and play with all the dogs and meet all the people. With most puppies, that's called flooding in the dog world, and that's basically too much going on at once, and that can actually have the opposite effect on your dog. And that can actually cause them to be scared and overwhelmed of everything in the world. And what we want to do is small exposure to the elements over time. And so that means I don't want to flood them. I have a whole different gravy train here, but no dog. I am not a dog park fan. I am not a fan of doggy daycares. And a lot of people are going, oh my gosh, I'm never going to her as a trainer. But it can overwhelm them in a bad way. So when you bring a new puppy home, I want you to take them to a new environment. For 5 minutes, like walk into Lowe's, put them in the basket. I will tell you in Lubbock, parvo is super, super bad. So if you have a very young, under-vaccinated puppy, let's not be putting them on the ground, but in like a shopping cart, like with a dog bed, totally fine to do. Walk in 5 minutes, let them see and observe the world. Go home. Let them see that they can focus on you with the dog playing over there. And if you have the right dog that can teach them how to be socially proper and saying like, hey, this is how dogs talk, this is how we communicate, then that's a good dog, but no flooding all at once. A lot of people think it means take them to and do all the things with people and dogs. It's not what it means at all.
That's what I would have thought. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I honestly, I would have thought the same thing. But it's interesting to say that. So we don't have dogs, Rachel, but we have snakes, and it's kind of similar in the snake world. When you get a new snake, you leave it in its enclosure and you just leave it alone for a couple of days before you start handling it and feeding it and doing anything else in the cage. You let it acclimate to its environment, and then you handle it daily for like 15 minutes at a time, and that way it starts knowing that you're not a threat to it. And so it's
very similar, very similar. And I just think so many puppies get overwhelmed, and like everybody's like, oh, cute puppy, so everywhere you go it's hands on. And I am the girl that if I have a new puppy and you try to come at my puppy, I'm like, don't touch my dog. Like,
which leads me to my other question on that. What strangers can do to help dogs build confidence?
Yes. So this is a big thing. So dogs are cute. We all want to pet all the dogs. And I see it all over the internet. Like, I just want to pet all the dogs. Not all the dogs want to be pet. I have to break that to you the hard way.
Yeah. Ricky's one of them.
Piper. Yeah. And believe it or not, Yoshi is not one that wants to be pet all the time. And so number one, rule of thumb, always ask somebody, because always ask. If you do not ask, I will jump down your throat pretty quickly. So always ask, because it's not your animal, it's somebody else's. Don't overstay your welcome. So when you are petting a dog, we tend to be mushy gushy all up in the dog's face. We tend to stay too long. And a lot of dogs are like going, oh my gosh, like, okay, this is
I'm gonna bite her.
Yeah. And so don't overstay your welcome. Grown-ups or kids, I do what's called pet check. So pet for 2 or 3 seconds, and then open your hands, and that's a question to the dog. So when you open face hands, it says, would you like to be pet more or would you not? If the dog stays put or even backs away, that's a very clear no. No, I'm done, but thank you. If the dog then comes into you, it's petting another 2 or 3 seconds and asking again. So don't overstay your welcome. Always ask, and don't be too mushy gushy in their face, even though it's super hard.
My daughter asked me that tonight when she was watching the slideshow. She was like, Dad, why is it whenever we see dogs like that, we just want to talk like little kids and little babies like that? And I was like, that's a good question, kid. I don't know, though.
It's so hard. If you see me at the vet clinic, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so cute. And I'm like, what am I doing? I tell people not to do this.
It's so hard not to, right?
Yes, it's so hard.
That is awesome.
All right.
Yes.
Basic puppy training. Did we already say that? I know.
Yes.
Oh, we got less than a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, we're like.
Okay, speed question then, because I know we kind of started late a little bit, Rachel. But my last 2 speed questions for you to answer.
Got it.
Basic puppy training. What age should that be at?
We answered that one.
We answered that one.
Okay, good.
As soon as you get them.
potty training questions. You normally get asked potty training questions. Do you have any tidbits to share with people right now?
Tidbits. Let's see. Don't use potty pads at all. Throw them away. What I tell people to do, I know I hate potty pads. I'm seeing your face over there. So, no potty pads. I tell people, I have them go get the bottom of like a rabbit tray from Tractor Supply or something, and sod, like your actual rollout grass. Teach them to recognize the scent of grass to go potty on, because potty pads and grass smell different. Put that by the back door. Teach them to ring a bell. You can either hang a bell over your door, or I get a little hotel bell for little dogs, that you can set by the door, like a little hotel bell. Make sure, a lot of people go, well, I just took them outside. In 2 seconds, they come right back in and potty. Most puppies, brain and bladder aren't on the same page. So if that happens, they went outside and pottied and they come back in, make sure you just don't open the door and let them have wherever. Confine them by the door. Wait 30 seconds to a minute, turn around, take them right back outside and reward them for that. That's the biggest question I get. And then no punishing for it. Okay. They're rubbing their nose in it. All that stuff is a myth. It doesn't work. And then make sure when you're crate training, do not buy a crate that is big enough to put potty pads on one side and sleep on the other. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just teach them to go out and communicate from the beginning. I think that's a big deal. And regulate it after they've played, after they've eaten. Regular 30 to every 45 minutes. Make it a regular routine and put a word on it. Say, you want to go potty? And then we go outside and we do the thing. Those are probably some of the biggest things that I can tell you. And I can put up on my Facebook page some potty training tips so that you guys can have it as well, what I hand to my students.
Yeah, we need to post that because we haven't posted
it. Yeah.
Awesome. Rachel, thank you so much.
Yeah,
you are a wealth of information.
No kidding.
Yes. Thank you.
Not always fun information that I've just learned. But
all he's trying to say is, Lucy, I'm home.
Right, exactly.
Come on now.
But this is your time to shine right now. So if there's something that you want to promote or put out there, please do so and let us know what you're here to say.
Well, I will promote and advocate for early dog training and positive reinforcement. I think reward-based training, reward-based does not mean positive, doesn't mean permissive, but I really like to advocate for positive training starting early and truly, truly taking the time to build a relationship with your dog. I think those that build a relationship with their dog versus just expecting things from them, those dogs want to do more for them in the long run. And then on a side note, because I'm on this platform and can say it today, be kind to your vet techs during curbside service, because it's a tough gig for us and we are doing our best. And more often than not, I work with such amazing people that truly care about the well-being of your animals. And I know we're all stressed. I know we're all ready for this to be over with. But in all things, I don't know if you guys have seen the Cinderella movie. Her messages always have courage and be kind. So just make sure you're treating those that are caring for your animals with kindness, because we want the best for you and your animals.
Awesome.
So,
Yes,
awesome.
thank you.
And for our last question for you, Rachel, is we always ask our guests to give us a topic for a future theme. And so with that being said, we like to try to keep it positive and upbeat. So if you could help us out with a future episode topic, that'd be great.
And not cats.
No cats. Sorry.
I'm going to go find you a cat behaviorist right now. Okay. I was thinking about this the entire time and I am drawing a blank. But why don't we just pick one of my other favorite animals? Why don't we go? Actually, the great outdoors. The great outdoors. Like, what do people like to do? Do you like to hike? Do you like to? What do you do in your spare time outside?
That is great.
That's a good
I'm
one.
an outdoorsy girl. We like to hike. I will literally just drive to Ruidoso for 4 hours, literally just to hike and turn around, come home. Like,
Cool.
Wow.
Okay, I like it.
That is
Okay.
awesome. That is awesome.
I like that. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, Rachel, I appreciate you so much for coming on tonight. I hope you had a great time. Thank you again for, even though we had all the technical difficulties in the morning, at the beginning. I'm glad you stuck it with
So
it.
mad.
It happens,
It still made a great show. So you're
It really
Thank
did.
you so much, Rachel.
And so, and
Thank
for all
you
of our
guys for having
viewers,
me.
thank you so much. For all of our viewers, guys, thank you for being here with us tonight. Thank you for hanging out a little bit extra afterwards. Just to kind of sum up, or not sum up, but just to kind of share, tomorrow night, we are having the episode for our frontline workers. And so That's basically like the nurses and the doctors and any of the medical profession or fields, people who are working directly with people who are sick and things like that. So we just kind of want to give them a time to shine and tell them thank you and we appreciate you. That was also a topic from a previous episode, the lightsabers episode, that he wanted us to do that. And then Joe,
Friday's Food Friday.
We're gonna talk about food.
Holla. Not dog food, not cat food.
Jalapeno cream sauce at the plaza.
Jalapeno.
Nice.
And with that, everyone, Sandy,
Remember to wash your hands.
for at least 20 seconds.
You filthy animals.
Good
Have a
night,
good night.
everybody.
Good night,
Thanks,
everyone.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank you.